Hello and welcome back. My name is Greg Benefit, and once again, I'm very lucky to be joined by Belal Hamideh. Bilal, how are you doing today?
I am doing excellent, Greg. How are you doing today?
Me too. I'd like to hear you say that. I too am doing excellent. I got to start saying that more. I really, really like that. We got some really good questions about a specific topic that the folks out there are wondering about. A lot of different things about, truck accidents, which I think some people are starting to realize are kind of different from some of the other vehicular accidents that they may happen, unfortunately. So that sort of leads to the first question we got here, which is what is the number one cause of truck accidents?
When we're talking about trucks, we're talking specifically about commercial motor vehicles, what people consider 18-wheelers, semi-truck, diesel truck, tractor trailer, whatever you want to call it. So the thing is that these truckers, they often have to drive long distances without much rest. So there's a lot of driver fatigue. Their employers can be demanding, a shipment has to be made at a certain time, and they have to kind of take profits over safety. It's not safe to drive when you're fatigued. So unfortunately, there's a lot of truck driver fatigue that is involved in truck crashes. And we see that that's one of the most common causes of truck crashes. Another thing is that the driver a lot of times is not properly trained. A truck driver requires a commercial driver's license. It's not like you take that easy test, take a 10-minute driving test and get your license. You have to go to school. You have to be properly trained. You're driving a dangerous vehicle. It has an impact when it hits a car about 20 times more than a regular car because E equals MC squared. The energy of the collision has a lot to do with the M, which is the mass. So the higher the mass of a vehicle, the more of a punch it's going to give somebody if it's in the unfortunate event to meet head to head with that. So another common cause, which I was getting into, was the failure to properly train the truck driver. They have to maintain a safe distance between themselves and other vehicles. They cannot drive these trucks like they're cars. You cannot be tailgating people. You have to maintain a distance of about 7 seconds behind yourself and the vehicles in front of you, as opposed to a regular car where you have to maintain roughly a 3-second difference. So you have to maintain over a 2 times distance between yourself and the vehicle in front of you. But go on the freeway, look at the commercial truck driver, look at the regular cars. A lot of times they have the same distance. So the failure to properly be trained or just negligent driving in general, because these trucks cannot stop as fast as a car. You have to maintain a bigger distance. So those things are usually the most common causes for truck crashes.
No, that's a shame that there are so many causes that can make this thing so common. I think that sort of flows into the next question you got in, which is what are the most frequent types of accidents in all of trucking?
Okay, so we kind of talked about that. The failure to maintain a safe distance between the truck and the vehicle in front of them. Rear enders are usually the most common. A lot of times if they're on the freeway and traffic is coming to a quick halt and they're not maintaining that 7-second distance between themselves and the vehicle in front of them. If they're in a situation where they have to stop abruptly, they're not going to be able to stop abruptly. I mean, that truck is going to skid until it plows the car in front of them. And even though the truck is decreasing in speed, it's usually at least 60 to 65 miles an hour. And if it's slowing down slowly, getting hit at 40 to 50 miles an hour by something that hits 20 times harder than a car, that's dangerous. So rear enders are common. A lot of other types of truck accidents as well are rollovers because a lot of times they're carrying the large cargo. The front part of the truck is the tractor, and then the cargo, like the 53-foot container, is on the back. So if they're taking wide turns, if the cargo is not properly loaded, if it's too heavy, things like that, then the truck can actually roll over. So that would probably be the second most common type of truck accident. So number one, rear ender. Number two, rollovers.
When you say it like that, it makes you realize just how often this can happen, how much it does. Frankly, that's something I was sort of wondering now. This third question after hearing you say that is, how often do truck drivers get into accidents?
Because of the things that we've discussed, the fatigue, the tiredness, the demand to get shipments done quickly, there's a lot of truck accidents every year.
Mm-hmm.
In the United States, there's about 500,000 truck accidents per year. Now, if you want to talk specifically about California, the state that we are in regards to the amount of accidents in trucking that lead to death and injury, 3,000 truck accidents have reported injuries. 1 to 200 of those truck accidents have reported deaths or fatalities. You are more likely to die in a truck accident than you are in a car accident. So unfortunately, the statistics are bad and they are not getting any better.
That's terrible when you put it like that. That it leads to the final question, I think, which is something I think is very important to ask in the light of what you said. Are truck drivers always at fault?
I would say the majority of time, truck drivers are at fault. And the reason is when you're talking about who is at fault, you use a reasonable person standard. Would a reasonable person have driven their vehicle in this way? Truck drivers are not on the same standard as regular drivers. When you're talking about truck drivers, would the reasonable, trained commercial truck driver have driven their vehicle this way? Now, a reasonable truck driver is somebody who follows all the rules that they learned in trucking school, maintaining a distance of 7 seconds, knowing how to see blind spots, and knowing how to anticipate the movements of other drivers. They need to go to significant trucking school, so they are held to a higher standard. It's like comparing a child and an adult. A child, maybe it's reasonable for them to do something in a certain situation, but for an adult, they're more trained, they're more experienced, they should know better. So because of the higher standard of care for trucking, because they are on the road for such long times, because they can have driver fatigue, because employers put them on the road because they're trying to fill positions and not properly training them, not properly checking for background qualifications, the truckers are more likely to be at fault than the regular driver.
Right. No, that makes so much sense when you put it that way. Well, Belal, that's all the questions we got in today. Is there any thought that you'd like to speak to the audience?
Yeah, sure. So we do this podcast for the benefit of the public so that the public can be informed about their legal rights in the unfortunate event if they were injured in an accident, car accident, truck accident, work accident, construction accident, any type of accident that you've been involved in or a loved one has been involved in. I encourage you to give your questions to us. You can send your questions on Facebook to Belal Hamideh Law, to Instagram at Belal Hamideh Law Firm, Twitter, Belal Hamideh Law, our website on our live chat, or you can directly talk to us by clicking the text a lawyer button. I like to make myself accessible to the public to answer questions and provide free consultations. And we are answering people's questions live here. Feel free to submit your question in the comment box on YouTube or social media so that we can answer it in the next podcast. We generally do these once every week or two. And I want to thank everyone for your time. Drive safe and God bless.
Thank you so much. Take it easy. My name is Greg Benevent. On behalf of Belal Hamideh, have a good day.